The Boston Celtics are quietly plotting a massive front-court raid on the Atlanta Hawks to completely transform their championship rotation before next season begins. A brand new wave of league intelligence reveals that these two historic franchises are suddenly linked together in multiple blockbuster trade scenarios. Both front offices are currently positioned as major potential suitors for superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo if he decides to force his way out of his current situation. There is also a massive rumor circulating that executive Brad Stevens might finally consider trading away superstar wing Jalen Brown this summer. If that monumental decision happens, his hometown Atlanta Hawks are known to have immense interest in bringing the explosive star back to Georgia. This pairing makes perfect sense for a variety of basketball reasons, but the Celtics should be looking closely at the Hawks roster, even if no superstar trade happens. The Hawks just completed a massive organizational shift this past season by trading away franchise guard Trae Young to officially clear the runway for Jalen Johnson. That bold rebuilding strategy worked beautifully as the newly reshaped roster thrived down the stretch and made a surprising run into the postseason. They briefly held a shocking 2-1 series lead over the powerhouse New York Knicks in the very first round of the playoffs. That performance looks more impressive with each passing day. But Atlanta still has a long way to go before becoming a true title contender in the East. That exact gap in their current roster structure is why they are so aggressively chasing a proven star player like Jalen Brown to elevate their ceiling. If the Hawks decide to chase a monumental roster upgrade this month, several of their highly valuable role players could suddenly become expendable. The Celtics would be incredibly wise to target a handful of these specific pieces who are currently undervalued and underutilized in the Atlanta system. For instance, if guard CJ McCollum somehow slips away from their core, he would represent an absolutely fantastic option for the sixth-man role in Boston. Management could potentially land his services by utilizing their non-taxpayer mid-level exception, but Atlanta will almost surely fight to keep him. The primary focus for Brad Stevens remains finding a reliable stretch big man who can protect the paint while opening up driving lanes for the stars. The Hawks happen to possess two excellent options who perfectly fit this exact description, giving Boston multiple paths to upgrade their front court. The younger and flashier option who could serve as a legitimate long-term building block for the Celtics organization is Onyeka Okongwu. The 25-year-old center just completed a highly productive season in Atlanta as their primary starter and anchor on the defensive end. He offers immense defensive versatility, along with spectacular athleticism for a player of his physical size and frame. He also successfully stretched his offensive game out to the perimeter this year to punish opposing defenses for leaving him open beyond the arc. The Hawks management would ideally love to keep the young big man, who still has 2 full years and $33 million left on his current contract. But if they focus their attention on engineering a much larger trade for a superstar, his salary could easily become necessary to match the incoming deals. If that specific scenario unfolds this summer, the Celtics front office needs to pounce immediately before another rival team beats them to the phone. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay completely updated on all these breaking off-season roster maneuvers. If the price tag for Okongwu proves to be far too high for Boston to match, they have a completely spectacular fallback plan waiting in the wings. The front office should pivot their attention toward veteran big man Jock Landale, who might actually be significantly easier to steal away this summer. The 30-year-old Australian center has bounced around the league a bit during his career, but he just emerged as an incredibly solid rotation piece. He provided excellent production for Memphis before moving to Atlanta, where he anchored the second unit with great physical intensity on a nightly basis. An unfortunate injury sidelined him right before the start of the postseason, which ended up being incredibly costly for the Hawks' depth chart. Now he enters the open market as an unrestricted free agent, meaning the Celtics can acquire him directly without giving up any valuable trade assets. Boston could easily use a portion of their mid-level exception to give him a very nice financial raise from his previous minimum salary contract. They can offer him a clearly defined role as the primary backup center on a team that is virtually guaranteed to compete for a championship next year. He possesses great natural size and immense strength to battle with physical opposing big men directly around the rim on the defensive end. He also weaponized his outside jump shot by converting over 38% of his three-point attempts throughout the regular season campaign. He managed to score over 10 points and pull down nearly 6 rebounds per game while playing just 22 minutes a night off the bench. The Celtics obviously have incredibly high ambitions as they look to completely retool their roster following their recent playoff disappointment. But if they are simply looking to add a highly efficient center to the rotation without breaking the bank, Landale represents a perfect choice. The front office knows that relying too heavily on unproven youth to protect the paint during a deep playoff run is an incredibly risky proposition. Adding a proven veteran who can hit outside shots creates a lethal dynamic that head coach Joe Mazzulla can exploit against elite defensive schemes. Imagine a scenario where opposing defenses are forced to choose between helping on a driving star or leaving a 38% shooter open. This specific capability is exactly why the Hawks' big men represent the absolute gold standard of realistic offseason targets for this franchise. Brad Stevens will undoubtedly explore every single avenue over the coming weeks to ensure the roster has the depth required to secure a banner. Whether they execute a blockbuster deal or secure a sneaky free agent signing, the front line will look vastly different when training camp opens. The ultimate goal remains completely unchanged, and finding the perfect front court anchor is the missing piece to unlock their true potential.